If I offered you $10 million today, but there was one condition. The moment you accepted it, you would have to live someone else's life. Forever. Their schedule, their responsibilities, their relationships, their problems. Every decision you made from that day forward would already be shaped by someone else's circumstances. Would you take the money? Most people answer almost instantly, no. And that small word reveals something surprising. Because if money were truly the thing we wanted most, the choice would be easy. $10 million can buy mansions in Los Angeles, luxury cars, a private island in the Caribbean, nearly anything money can purchase. Yet most of us would still refuse. Why? Because beneath every financial goal sits another goal, one that's much harder to put into words. We don't dream about money for the paper or the numbers or the commas in a bank statement. We dream about what money seems to promise: the freedom to choose where we live, the freedom to leave a job that drains us, the freedom to spend our days with the people we love, the freedom to wake up tomorrow and decide our life should look different than it did yesterday. So perhaps we've been measuring wealth the wrong way all along, because if money were truly the destination, why do so many people earn more than they ever imagined, yet still feel they can't choose their own lives? That's the question I want to explore with you today. And by the end, I think you'll see your own finances in a completely different light. So if we are to redefine what wealth actually is, or real wealth isn't a number. It's not the balance in your account or the value of your home or the size of your pension. Real wealth is optionality, the number of doors you can still open. Picture your life as a long hallway, and along both sides of that hallway are doors. Every door is a choice you're still free to make. The door to a different city, the door to helping a grandchild through college, the door to walking away from something that no longer serves you, the door to saying, I've done enough. I'd like to rest now. When we're young, that hallway seems endless, doors as far as the eye can see. But here's what almost no one tells you. Every single day, through ordinary decisions that feel harmless at the time, we quietly lock some of those doors, and we rarely notice the sound. Let me show you how it happens. Imagine buying a beautiful home, but the mortgage stretches the budget to its very edge. It feels like an upgrade, and in many ways it is. But quietly, a door has closed. Because now, slowing down, changing direction, or retiring a few years early simply isn't possible. The house needs feeding every single month. Or imagine financing a new car every few years. Each payment feels small, manageable, reasonable, but it's a trade, a piece of future flexibility exchanged for a smoother ride today. Another door gently pulled shut. We tell ourselves these are just normal parts of life. And they are. But normal is exactly the problem. Because the doors we lock are almost never dramatic. There's no single terrible decision. Just 100 small, sensible ones, each trading a little bit of tomorrow's freedom for a little more comfort today. And by the time many people reach their 50s, 60s, or 70s, they look up and find the hallway that once seemed endless now holds only a few open doors. Not because they failed, but because no one ever taught them that freedom can be spent just as easily as money. Now here's the part worth holding on to. It is never too late to stop locking doors. And it is never too late to start opening new ones. That's what the rest of this conversation is about. The specific, practical ways to reclaim your choices, no matter where the starting point may be. Because there's a quiet difference between a life that grows narrower with each passing year and one that stays wide open, right to the very end. And the doors still standing open in your own hallway are worth thinking about carefully. So if ordinary life quietly locks doors, then the good news is this. Certain choices do the opposite. They build doors. They widen the hallway again. And they're simpler than most people expect. The first is something you've heard of 1,000 times, but almost no one thinks of it the way I'm about to describe it. An emergency fund. Most people picture it as money sitting still, doing nothing, almost wasted, but that's not what it is at all. An emergency fund is a door that stays permanently unlocked. Because when money is set aside, life's surprises lose their power to trap. a sudden repair, an unexpected bill, a season without income, none of them can force a desperate decision. There's room to breathe, room to choose. Money resting quietly in savings isn't idle. It's standing guard over your freedom. The second door is one that many people close far too early in life, often out of fear or a belief that it's too late. Investing. Not the frantic, screen-watching kind, not chasing the next hot tip. Simply this, letting a portion of what you've earned continue working quietly in the background so that the years ahead carry more options than the years behind. Because money that grows is money that opens doors you cannot yet see. The freedom to help family, the freedom to weather a long retirement without fear, the freedom to give, to rest, to leave something behind. Even beginning modestly, even beginning late, changes the shape of the hallway, not because of the numbers alone, but because of the choices those numbers protect. And then there's a third door, the one most people overlook entirely, yourself. Everything you know, every skill you've gathered, every relationship you've built over a lifetime, every bit of wisdom earned through experience, this is human capital. And it may be the most powerful door of all, because it can never be taken. It doesn't vanish in a market downturn. It doesn't depend on interest rates or the economy. A person who keeps learning, keeps contributing, keeps offering what they know, always holds a key that others cannot touch. And this is the quiet truth beneath all three. Money in reserve, money that grows, wisdom that endures. None of these are about becoming rich in the way the world usually means it. They are about staying free, about keeping the hallway open, about making sure that the years ahead hold more choices, not fewer. And that kind of wealth rarely shows up in a bank statement at all. Let me show you what this looks like in the real world. Picture two people. The first earns a great deal of money, $250,000 a year. On paper, a picture of success. But look a little closer. There's the large home with a mortgage to match, the newer cars, financed, the lifestyle that rose to meet the income and then quietly rose a little more, the private schools, the club memberships, the vacations that everyone has come to expect. And so, despite the impressive number, nearly every dollar is already spoken for before it arrives. This person cannot slow down, cannot pause, cannot absorb a single bad year without the whole structure trembling. The income is high, but the hallway is narrow. Almost every door is locked, held shut by obligations that must be fed month after month, year after year. Now picture the second person. This one earns far less, perhaps $80,000 a year, a modest number by comparison, but the home is comfortable and well within reach. There's no car payment, money rests quietly in savings, a little more grows steadily in the background, and the lifestyle sits below what the income allows, leaving room, leaving breath, leaving choice. This person can take a lower paying role that brings more joy, can weather a hard season without fear, can help a family member in a moment of need, can step back, slow down, or change direction entirely. The income is smaller, but the hallway is wide open, door after door, still unlocked. And here is where the world gets it exactly backwards. It would look at these two lives and call the first one wealthy, the bigger house, the higher salary, the visible success. But wealth was never the number on the paycheck. It was never the size of the house or the badge on the car. Wealth was always the freedom underneath it all. One of these lives is quietly trapped by everything it owns. The other is quietly free. And the difference between them had almost nothing to do with how much they earned, and almost everything to do with how much freedom they chose to keep. So let me turn now from those two lives to yours. Not to the number on your accounts, not to the size of your home, or the title you once held, or the balance you've built over a lifetime, but to the hallway. Somewhere along the way, doors were opened, And somewhere along the way, doors were quietly closed, as they are for every single one of us. That's not a failure. That's simply what it means to have lived a full life. But here, in this quiet moment, a few things are worth asking. Of the doors still standing open in your life, which ones matter most? Which ones would you protect at almost any cost? The freedom to rest, to give, to help someone you love, to spend your days as you truly wish. And is there a door, closed long ago, that could still be opened again? If you simply decided to reach for the handle? Because here is the truth I've watched hold, again and again, across more than 20 years and countless lives. It is never too late. Not at 50, not at 70, not at 85. Every choice from this day forward can either lock another door or open one. And real wealth, the only kind that has ever truly mattered, was never about having more than the person beside you. It was about waking each morning with the freedom to choose how you spend the time you've been given. That freedom is still yours to build. Starting today, starting with the very next decision you make. So as you go about the rest of your day, I'll leave you with this. Walk your hallway slowly. Notice the doors still open, and begin gently to protect them. Because a life kept wide open right to the very end is the richest life there is. If this reflection meant something to you today, take a moment to subscribe so we can keep walking these hallways together, one honest conversation at a time. I'll see you in the next one.